The young and the restless spoilers shock a ghost in Genoa City. When Holden Novak first arrived in Genoa City, he masqueraded as the long-lost son of Amy Lewis and Damien Kane, a secret identity that sent shockwaves through the Newman, Abbott, and Winters households. But once that charade collapsed, one might have expected Holden to vanish as swiftly as he'd appeared. Instead, he seems determined to carve out a space for himself in the city's nocturnal underworld, slouching at the GC Athletic Club bar one night, nursing a glass of bourbon in Neil Winters's jazz lounge the next. For a man who has no business left in town, Holden has embraced the life of a roaming barfly with surprising gusto and uncanny skill. 1. The aftermath of a big reveal. Holden's big secret, that he was neither Amy's son nor Damien's heir, exploded like a grenade in the back corridors of Newman Enterprises. His brief dalliance with the Kane legacy ended almost as soon as it began, leaving him adrift and exposed. Yet rather than scurry off-screen, Holden chose to stay, leaning into the role of enigmatic mystic, forever frozen between two worlds, public persona, the man who failed to mend the rift between Amy and Damien, now shunned by legal guardians and yet strangely embraced by local bartenders. Private reality, a former detective haunted by unfinished business in Los Angeles, including a tangled, complicated past with Audra Charles and a shadowy rivalry with Tucker McCall. This dual existence has given Holden a narrative elasticity rarely seen for newcomers. He's equally comfortable as a source of comic relief, glibly ordering round after round, and as the brooding figure at the heart of a brewing conspiracy. 2. Nights at the Rusty Anchor in Neil's Lounge. If you wanted to find Holden Novak at 10 p.m. sharp, you'd head to one of two spots, GC Athletic Club Bar, GCAC. Under neon lights and a haze of chatter, Holden plays the part of the lonely soul perfectly. He slides onto the bar stool as if drawn by fate, his coat draped like a cape, and orders something strong enough to wash away the day. Locals whisper that he's always nursing the same glass for hours, but he swears it's a new pour each time. Neil Winters's Jazz Lounge. On quieter evenings, Holden drifts downstairs where saxophones weave through dimmed lamps. He'll nurse red wine instead of whiskey here, his only concession to sophistication, while watching patrons sway to the rhythm, his own foot tapping in time. It's in these liminal spaces, half light, half truth, that Holden seems most alive. He eavesdrops on boardroom gossip, occasionally jots a note in a battered journal, and always remains painfully aware that any moment could bring another twist in his unsettled journey. 3. Audra Charles. More than a drinking buddy. Holden's lone wolf routine fractured the night Audra Charles re-entered his orbit. Their history runs deep. Los Angeles days tangled with Tucker McCall, a scandal that Audra and Holden both know but no one in Genoa City suspects. When they meet for a quick bite, often at Society, the upscale cafe near the Regina bar, there's a current of unspoken tension, shared secrets. Audra's eyes flicker when she orders a club sandwich, as if every bite revives a memory of a case gone wrong or a heart betrayed. Unfinished business. Holden's polite restraint cracks when Audra mentions Tucker, his jaw tightens, and for a second, his reflective surface gives way to something raw and vulnerable. Mutual respect. Despite the undercurrent of pain, they share wry smiles and a certain warmth, proof that their bond survived whatever storm they endured in LA. Yet their alliance is more than nostalgia. Audra has her own objectives in Genoa City, and Holden, ever the protector, has quietly become her eyes and ears in the Newman Abbott Theater. 4. A new mission. Targeting Kyle Abbott. Word on the street is that Victor Newman has a fresh assignment for Holden and Audra. Get close to Kyle Abbott. Why? Victor needs an inside contact at Abbott Labs to ensure Kyle, once Victor's protege, is both watched and guided, granting Audra a miraculous third chance at a role within Newman Enterprises without the usual pink slip. For Audra, this is redemption, a return ticket to Victor's good graces after her own professional exile. The buzz is that Victor admires her tenacity and sees her as someone who can neutralize Abbott's threat to Newman's regional dominance. For Holden, it's a chance to prove his worth. Once dismissed as a pretender, he can redeem himself by delivering intel that topples one of Genoa City's most storied families from the inside. Kyle, for his part, remains blissfully unaware that he is the object of this elaborate manhunt. He trusts Claire and is committed to his work. But a stranger's subtle inquiries, late-night appearances at his lab, and a new consultant named Charles may soon set off his instincts. 5. Stakes and speculations. As Holden and Audra plot their approach, every choice is weighted. Will Holden rekindle feelings for Audra? Their unresolved past in LA could reignite old passions, or open old wounds that threaten to derail their shared mission. Can Audra resist the Newman trap? Victor's favor has a price. Audra must walk a razor's edge between loyalty to Holden and allegiance to the man who holds her career in his hands. What happens when Kyle catches on? The moment he notices the pattern, Holden's lingering glances, Audra's coded texts, everything could unravel. And lurking behind it all is the specter of Aristotle Dumas, the unseen puppeteer whose next move may force Holden and Audra to choose between ambition and conscience. Epilogue. A devil's bargain in Genoa City. Holden Novak's tenure in Genoa City was meant to be fleeting. A one-off pretender unmasked and cast out. Yet here he remains, a phantom detective haunting the city's after hours, bound to Audra by shared secrets and now enlisted in Victor Newman's grand design. Their target, Kyle Abbott, is blissfully unaware that his mentor's empire now has eyes inside his own, and that those eyes belong to two outsiders whose very presence could upend the balance of power. As Holden and Audra close in on Kyle, one question looms larger than any: will they follow Victor's orders to the letter, or will the unresolved sparks between them ignite a rebellion that even Victor can't control? In Genoa City, loyalties shift as quickly as the neon lights fade, and between the clink of glasses and the buzz of strategy, the next act is already beginning. Prologue. Sparks at the GCAC bar under the low hum of chatter and the muted glow of neon that bathes the Genoa City Athletic Club bar, a combustible mix of longing and rivalry simmers. Here, late-night city lights filter through the windows, illuminating half-smiles and darting glances. For Claire Newman, newly emboldened by her sizzling attraction to Kyle Abbott, the GCAC feels less like a sports lounge and more like a stage on which she can explore the fiery side of her heart. And for Holden Novak, recently unmasked in Amy Lewis's household drama, this bar has become his default office, a place to linger, observe, and indulge in quiet flirtations. When these two newcomers find themselves alone at the same counter, the air crackles, Claire's pulse races at Holden's easy charm, Kyle's mind reels with equal parts pride and possessiveness as he witnesses his girlfriend's stolen moments of attention. And all the while, the bar carries echoes of other stories. Of Damian Kane rebuilding a bond with Amy Lewis, of Abby Winters confessing her own longings to her unsuspecting husband, Devon, and of Lily Winters, the soft-spoken cousin who's captured Holden's eye but not yet his courage to speak. 1. Claire's first love, and its distractions. Claire Newman has always projected poise and restraint. Yet in Kyle Abbott's steady presence, she's discovered a new confidence. She insists earnestly, almost defiantly, that Kyle is her first real relationship, her first true taste of intimacy. Their stolen kisses in dimly lit halls, late-night text chains, and whispered promises have unveiled a side of Claire previously unseen, playful, passionate, even a touch reckless. Still, Kyle is a co-CEO at Jabot, sharing the boardroom with his famously affable father, Smilin' Jack Abbott. His days are consumed by product launches, shareholder calls, and the pressure to innovate. He adores Claire. But between quarterly reports and media tours, he can't always be the spontaneous romantic. That gap, those pockets of unguarded time, has become an open invitation for Holden Novak. 2. Holden Novak, barfly or matchmaker. Once revealed as neither Amy's son nor Damian's heir, Holden might have faded away like a bad memory. Instead, he's thrown himself headlong into Genoa City's nightlife. At the GCAC bar, he's both phantom confidant and opportunistic observer, patient conversationalist. He's the guy who slides onto the stool next to yours and asks, "Rough day," with genuine interest. Amateur mixologist, after teaching Claire how to order a perfect Vesper, he's earned a reputation for quick drink lessons that come with a wink and a knowing smile. Antenna for drama, he watches Kyle's suit jacket sleeves wrinkle as Kyle checks his phone for the umpteenth time. He sees the flicker of embarrassment in Claire's eyes when Kyle finally notices, and then retreats. When Audra is out of town, pursuing Victor Newman's latest directive or tending to her own redemption arc, Holden has free rein. He and Claire fall into easy banter. She tells him about a board meeting that ran late. He offers sympathetic nods and another shot of gin. She doesn't mind. Kyle's jealousy simmers, but he can't quite pinpoint the threat. 3. Jealousy's edge. Kyle Abbott's dilemma for Kyle. Every laugh Claire shares with Holden is a sting. He admires Claire's vivacity, how she lights up in heels and commands attention at charity events, but when that spark ignites elsewhere, it scares him. Professional pride versus personal insecurity. As Jabot's co-leader, Kyle thrives on control. But he can't control Claire's flirtatious energy toward a man whose past is shrouded in mystery. Silent rival, he's never confronted Holden directly. Instead, he promises himself he'll dedicate a weekend to Claire. No phones, no business, just them. But business crises always intrude, leaving Claire free to drift back into Holden's orbit. With each missed dinner and each lingering eye contact, Kyle's confidence frays, and Claire, intoxicated by novelty, remains blissfully unaware of how high the stakes really are. For Damian Kane and the Winters cousins meanwhile, Damian Kane has found solace rebuilding ties with his mother, Amy Lewis. Their brunches are earnest, Amy talking him through her fears, Damian promising to stay grounded. Yet Damian's heart has room for more care. He's quietly invited Lily Winters, Nate's thoughtful cousin, to join their family meals. Holden's new infatuation. The first time Holden spotted Lily across the table, her laughter light as wind chimes, he felt a pang of something he hadn't felt since Audra. He nursed a coffee, mustered a smile, and resolved to ask her to dinner. But what words could express admiration born of second-hand stories? Abby's audacious admission. Then there's Abby Winters, who swung by to check on her husband, Devon. Spotting Holden leaned against the hostess stand, she couldn't resist blurting out, "Actually, I do have a thing for Damian," not once but twice, while Devon looked on, mouth agape. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Damian stiffened, Holden shot an amused glance, Devon's jaw clenched. In Genoa City, family lines blur, loyalties shift, and a single confession can upend relationships in seconds. 5. Audra Charles's mission. An absence for all his free time, Holden's anchor remains Audra Charles, off camera now as she pursues a third chance at Newman Enterprises. Victor Newman has set her a test: cozy up to Kyle Abbott from the inside, gather intel, and prove she's indispensable, or be shown the door. Holden's protector role. Without Audra's guiding hand at his side, Holden slips into a self-appointed guardian of Claire's happiness. He doesn't plot against Kyle exactly. Rather, he nudges conversations toward Claire's ambitions, hints at the excitement of unpredictability, and sips his bourbon as he watches her response. Claire's growing appetite for risk, encouraged by Holden's teasing, Claire orders a second Vesper, the James Bond special, she calls it, even though she's flown through most of that fourth season in a single weekend. Each sip loosens her certainties about what first love should feel like. But Audra's return looms, and with it, the revelation that every flirtatious smile at the GCAC is part of Victor's grand gambit. 6. The intersection of desire and duty. Genoa City thrives on these intersections, where the personal collides with the political. Claire's crossroads. She can cling to Kyle's dependable affection and the promise of a traditional future, or she can chase the pulse-quickening thrill Holden offers. Kyle's wake-up call. Will he step out of boardrooms and share his world with Claire more fully? Before Holden or Audra steal her heart and her loyalty? Holden's choice. Torn between a genuine crush on Lily and his unspoken feelings for Claire, he must decide whether to pursue a new love or guard the secrets of his past with Audra. Abby and Devon's fallout. Abby's confession about Damian could reverberate through the Winters clan, forcing Devon to confront trust and temptation in his own marriage. Epilogue. Whatever happens, the bar is watching when the GCAC lights dim for the night and the last echoes of laughter fade. The lingering whispers of what transpired there remain. A napkin with a number. Perhaps Holden slips Claire a note with his cell, an unmissable invitation to meet where the night never ends. A text from Kyle. Maybe Kyle sends Claire a late-night message, "Miss you, come home," leaving her torn between his arms and the magnetic pull of the unknown. A call from Audra. On the eve of her return, Audra might dial Holden, voice laced with urgency. The boss wants results, or else. In Genoa City, love and loyalty are perpetually on loan. Friendships are tested, alliances shift, and hearts, whether newly minted or battle-scarred, learn that the most dangerous games are played after dark. So raise a glass, be it a Vesper or a neat bourbon, to Claire, Kyle, Holden, Audra, Damien, Lily, Abby, and Devon. Their stories are entwined in barroom confessions and boardroom machinations alike, and the next chapter promises even deeper intrigues, blazing passions, and the kind of betrayals that leave everyone guessing who will stand victorious when the sun rises.